It's February. Welcome back to the Surrey Report. Chandani Pooni is joining me today. We're going to be going over everything happening in the insurance world because we've had just tons of questions from clients regarding insurance, home insurance, and a big changing landscape out there. But first, here is the stats with the rest of the team.
And starting with condos, the benchmark price is around $430,000. It's a 1.3% increase month over month, and it's the only asset class that's increased year over year at 0.3%.
So moving into townhouses, we had sales of 149 units with a benchmark price of $561,100. Month over month, we had a 0.3% increase, but year over year, it was down 1.7%.
Surrey combined saw a benchmark price of $1,050,000. This is up 0.7% month over month, down 0.4% year over year. We had 196 sales. All of the homes that we sold in January sold with multiple offers. In fact, one house even got 21 offers, and it sold well over the asking price. This is a great time to consider selling. Give us a call.
All right, these tend to be our most watched videos. I guess this little question and answer that Chandani and I do back and forth tends to get the best response from you guys, and I think that's because we're trying to fill you in on something that you actually need to know about. So in December, something changed, and we knew that we had to do this video for you guys right now. So Chandani, well, you've prepared some questions for me.
Yeah.
We've gone over this extensively. So let's start with your questions.
Okay, so over the last couple months, we've had calls from clients. They've probably even seen on the news. There's been a lot of questions about home insurance. So what exactly is going on, Steve?
Oh man, in December, it started right at the end of December. We started and then into January, we started getting lots of calls about home insurance increases.
Yeah.
We're seeing people that are seeing like, let's say 20% on their home insurance for a detached home. But then it hit the news that we're seeing strata insurance skyrocket. And very specifically, not just townhomes, but condos are being targeted most of all. So does that answer your question?
That is.
All right.
So there is a rumor that maybe these large companies have to increase home insurance because of all the natural disasters that have happened all over the world, such as Australia, right? Even the fires down in California, our fires, the flood in Europe. Is that why we're seeing these increases, or what is it?
Yeah, that's the rumor that's going around, and I've even heard that some insurance companies have maybe sent people to address these stratas about that, and they have talked about these big conglomerate companies that are possibly bracing for losing money going forward. I personally have spoken to many insurance brokers. I don't feel that that's the case. I think what has happened is there's only been really 2 or 3 or 4 players in the strata insurance game, specifically in Canada and throughout a lot of the world.
Yeah.
And they have not been charging enough money. Now that sounds ridiculous, right? Of course, insurance companies charge a ton of money. Well, the one that hit the news, the story that hit the news, was a high-rise in Abbotsford. Their policy was estimated about $66,000 a year.
Yeah.
And it was 200 and some odd units.
Yeah, 266 units.
So when we did the math, Chandani and I were sitting there with a calculator, and it was like $250 a year for insurance. And that's just simply not enough. You can't insure a home worth $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 for $250 a year. It's not enough because, and this is why condos are being targeted, is let's say, for instance, you have a high rise and there's a leak on the top floor, all those units below are affected.
Yeah.
One claim wipes out the insurance company's profit completely, and you're in trouble. That's basically what it breaks down to. Now, I do think we do have a problem because the insurance companies have actually gone the other way completely, and now they're charging for that particular building something like $2,000 a year, which is way too much.
So are you essentially saying that annual premiums will be going up?
Annual premiums for strata, well, for all things, even Chris's boat went up dramatically. But so we're seeing increases, let's say 20% in a detached.
Yeah.
Townhouses are also seeing these massive increases, sometimes 100% or more. But condos, the one that hit the news, was something like a 700% increase. So condos specifically are being targeted, and it's the premium that's going up. But What you have to know is when the premium goes up, the strata manager panics, the strata council panics. The easiest way to get your premium back down is increase your deductible.
Yep.
So now you're starting to actually get half the calls we had were my premium's gone up, what the heck do I do?
Yeah.
The other half was my deductible's gone up, what the heck do I do? So you really have to balance exactly what's going on, because your strata is going to try and get the cheapest insurance possible. So they're going to therefore put the deductible on you.
Okay, you just answered my question.
What? Oh, sorry. What's the next question?
So if I'm a homeowner of a strata unit, okay, and my strata is trying to buy down the premium, that ultimately means I'm going to have a higher strata deductible.
Yes.
So how does that affect me?
Okay, so how it affects you is this. If we have, I guess I should say, how does the strata's deductible affect you as the owner would be the best thing. So let's say, for instance, I'm found at fault for a problem in my building. I flood my bathtub, something like that. And now I'm responsible for the strata's deductible.
So if the water deductible, say, is $100,000,
now I have to come up with that $100,000. Or what we normally do when you have a condo, you would have contents improvements and strata deductible insurance.
Yeah.
So if your strata, now follow me here because it gets a little confusing. If your strata buys down your premium and then takes on larger deductibles, say from $20,000 to $100,000, and that now $100,000 is my fault and I have to pay that deductible, now I have to make sure my home insurance will cover that deductible.
Yeah. The tricky part is some companies will only cover, because we're used to seeing 10 to 25,000, right, for a deductible. That's normal. But when it becomes $100,000, there's companies out there that won't insure that much.
Absolutely.
So that's the tricky part.
That's actually the part I was surprised. There are some companies that as soon as you pass $50,000 will just not give you that insurance anymore.
So we'd have to go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Any more?
I have one more.
All right.
So if my home or strata is affected by the increase, what do I do?
If your home is affected by the increase, well, first of all, you're probably affected by the increase. So for sure, check with your council, check your minutes and see exactly what's going on. The first thing I would do is I would call my own insurance provider to find out, one, am I covered for the deductibles that are there? And then what does it cost me to get covered, or do they cover me at all? The second thing I would do is I would probably get involved with my strata council and talk to them about possibly not buying down and keeping those lower deductibles. It will hurt their budget and your strata fee will go up marginally, but it's nothing compared to the risk you could possibly have.
Of not having insurance.
Of not having the insurance, or many people not being covered at all. I mean, you can cover yourself. What if your neighbor that leaks onto you isn't covered?
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
Right? So call your insurance provider and make sure you're covered.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Is that it?
I think that's all I have for now.
Okay, if you got any more questions about this, please reach out to us. Call your insurance provider. Talk to your stratas. There's nothing we can do about the detached homes going up. It's just going to happen. Chris's boat, nothing we can do there either.
Yeah.
All right, until next month, thanks so much for watching. And Chandani?
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thank you for watching this month's episode of the Surrey Report. If you found this video informative, go back and check out the time Steve and I sat down and discussed the CMHC First Time Homebuyers Incentive Program. See you next month.